Alright, so welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful and exciting tutorial, we're trying to see how to work with a very nice software or system called Valkey. So Valkey is another alternative to Redis. So as you already know, Redis is an in-memory key value database, and Valkey is another open source alternative for Redis. So it has several ports, so you can use different clients. So it can be Python, it can be JavaScript or Go. So let's see how to work with Valkey. So the API, it's very similar, so it has similar API, so the same API, right? So they have a similar API. So you can, in case you are using Redis initially, all you need is just change the name, right? So that's all. The API stays the same. So let's start with it. So I'll just go back again to my workspace here. I'm working on Ubuntu, and let's see how to install it. So sudo apt install Valkey. So this is how to install it on our system, and let's go to yes. So this is going to install the server and then the CLI, right? So it's installing the Valkey server, right? So now just finish. Perfect. And now I have Valkey. So if I go with Valkey help, you said it's not found, but in case you want to see this thing, just go with Valkey CLI, and then we are already inside. So just already started it, right? So we are already in Valkey, and I can just go with pink, and I get punk. So that means that it's alive. So it's similar to Redis, so you can actually use it like Redis. Perfect. So let's start with it. So how do you work with it? So the basic workflow is that you can use any of your client systems to interface with it, but let's use it from Python. So in case here, I can just go and list all the keys. So keys asterisk, I'm just going to get all the keys. So these are some keys that I have previously. I can also do I can set a value. So let's say set a key and a value. So you can set a key and a value. You can also set the TTL and all of these information. So you guys say something like name, then this is Jesse, and then if I go with get name, that is a key, I get Jesse, right? So you can actually do all of the various things you can do with Redis here. Perfect. So let's start with connecting from my Python client. So I'll go back again to my location here. So this is my Python client, and then you see how to connect my Valkey to my CLI as you are seeing from here. So how do you do that? So I can simply go back here. Let's side by side, and I'm just going to import. So in case you don't have Valkey, you can just, let's go here, let's open another tab, and then I'm just going to go to my virtual environment, activate it, and then let's install. So pip install Valkey. So this is a Python equivalent, right? So there's a Python port for it, which is going to be used as our client to interface with it, as we saw in the image here, right? To interface with Valkey. So I'll go back again here, and then we start working on it. So first, just like Redis, you would have done import Redis, right? Or you would have done something like from Redis import Redis. It is similar. So all you have to do is from Valkey import Valkey, right? So the same API, so the same thing, the same workflow, right? So there's nothing different, so just the same API. And now to connect with it, let's do the connection. I can just do with my R, or I can call it V in case you want. Then you would have done my initially you would have done Redis, then you can just pass in your host. So let's say localhost, which in our case localhost, then you specify the port, which is the same port that we have, which is the same port we had here, right? The ports, this particular port, the same port you are using, and then you can specify the DB. So DB is going to be 0, right? So something like this. So this is how you would have done in case you're using Redis. So all you just to do is just take off this and replace with Valkey. That is all, right? And it works out of the box. So it's just very similar API. Okay, and then let's check and see if it works. So r.punk, and then you should get a response, right? If everything works, you should be able to get a response that is actually working. So let's do it this way, and I can actually print this. So let's print this so that you see it in the terminal. I'll go back here, Let's expand it. Let's open another terminal from here. Inside the same location that I have my, and then here I'll just activate it, and then I can just run it here. So if I go with Python, my script, it's like you get true, right? So it's, you're able to get some stuff from it, right? Perfect. So ping pong is the same thing. So in case there is a wrong port, in case this is wrong, so let's say I make this one like 80 and I run it again, so we are getting a connection error, right? So it couldn't connect, right? So that means that it actually works. Perfect. So this is one way of working with Valkey. So you can use this option here, or you can read from connect from URL. So in the same way, let's bring it down. In case you would have done in Redis, you would have done something like this. So R going to be my Valkey dot from URL. So you can do the same thing as you'd have done with Redis. You can do that from URL to be able to get the host, right? So you will just go with the same thing, which is going to be Valkey. So there is Valkey, right? And then you just specify the localhost, and then 6379, right? So this is also another way. So you can also use this option here to connect, right? Connection from the URL. So let me hide this. Then we can also run some stuff. So r.ping, right? Just to get the information. We didn't see anything, but if I go with print, you can also see true, right? Perfect. So that is one way. So either you can use this connection, or you can just use this option. There is Valkeys. This is SSH, right? The one with the SSH secure, and then this is the normal one. Perfect. So let's see another stuff you can also do. You can also do pull connection, right? You can do connection pull. So pull, then I'll just pass in my Valkey, or you can just go with connection pull. You can do the same thing we have here. So I can just copy this connection pull, then I'll pass in my host as we did above. So let's pass in here, right? And then I can just connect. So I can just do my R, going to be my Valkey dot, now pass in my connection pool, let's go to the pool. So you can also do this option here. So let's hide this, and then we can do our dot is print, our dot print. If everything works, we should get the true, right? Perfect. So these are the three ways. So you can connect from this option there, you can connect from the URL, or you can create a connection pool and then work with it. Perfect. Now let's see some basic operations you can also do with it. So let's do some basic operations. So the basic operation that you want to do is that you want to see how to do some basic stuff. So let's hide this. Let's use not the connection pool. We can also use the same thing to work. I just go with my, how do you set a key? So you can just do r.set, then I'll pass in my value. So let's say the name, then the value. So the value can be JCharis, right? Everybody likes their name. That's how to set the value. In case I want to get the value, I can just go with the value that I want. It's going to be my r.get, then the name, right? And then I can now print this value there. Let's run it again. Right, run this one. So we have the value. We have gotten the value back, right? You can get the key, set a key. You can also check if the key exists by doing this option here. So I can just go exist, then I I can just pass in my r.exist. Then I'll pass in the key that I want to check, which is name, and then I can just print this. And if I run it again, so we have 1. So 1 means that it exists, right? If I do names, you're going to get a different value. That means it does not exist. 0 means it does not exist. So 1 means it's successful, yes. 0 means not exist, right? Perfect. You can also set expiration TTL, right? So mostly these ones are in seconds. This is known as TTL. So TTL, time to leave, right? And then can do the same thing by, so let's say r.expire. Then you specify the key. So the key that I have is, let's say, name, and I can specify the time. So I want it to be expired in 60 seconds, and then it's gone, right? So in 60 seconds, if I run this, perfect. Let's change this. And in case I want to check if it exists again, I can go back here to my terminal here. If I do with keys, it is still connected, right? So we have gotten all of them. We got the name, and then I can just say get name JCharis, right? So it's, because it's connected, right? Remember that I said the name Jesse, but here I specify the name as JCharis, and because I set it as 60 seconds, if I run it again, yeah, right. So that is how to do this. You can also set the expiration date here. Very cool. Now, in case you are working with strings, how do you work with strings here? So this is working with strings. We saw some other stuff we did, right? All of these are working with strings, but you can actually do some increments. So in case I want to do some increment, say incremental or decrement, I can say r.incre, right? Then I can specify a counter, right? And then I can also decrease it. So let's run this again. I can also do the same thing for decrease, in case I want to decrease it, right? You can also add a number to it. I can do decrease to decrease it, in case I want to append to a particular stuff. So let's give a different name. So let me hide this one because we're no more doing it again. And then let's append to it. So let's say r.set. So let's give it like, can give it a category, right? And then I just, this is the set I'm setting. Then I can say, okay, this is languages. I want to append to this. I can do r.append to a particular stuff. So I can append to something. So category. Then I can append to, say, let's give it something. So books, right? And then r.get category. Let's print this one out. Let's see. Let's print cut. Yeah, you see that we have gotten languages and books, right? So it appended to the category, it appended books to languages, right? So you can actually append to stuff. Perfect. In case you also want to get a substring of something, so I can get the substring of it. So it can be the same thing. I can do print r.get range. Then I can pass in the stuff I had, which was category. I want to get 0 to 5. So let's say to 5. This is going to print 0 to 5, so that we got here, right? So you can also get a substring from it. Now, how do you work with list? In case you want to work with list, I can just go with my several ways, right? You can create a list like this. So let's say locations, or let's say, yeah, places I've visited. Then r.lpush. Then I can pass into my list. my list. Then I can give it an item. So item 1, or let's say countries. So London, New York, and then let's say Accra. You can say Berlin, say New Delhi, right? All of these countries, right? So now I have a list and I'm pushing to that particular list, right? So I can keep on adding to it. So 5. So we got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have gotten 5 index. We can actually add to it, right? So this is a left push, right? So you are pushing from this side. I can also do a right push, which can be the same thing that we did without even putting it here. I can do another one, just the right push. So let's I'll push right to push from the right, and then let's add some new countries there. I want to add something like, let's say Toronto, and then something like Dubai, right? So now this is going to be added on the other side. So if I go back here and I run it, that's added 10 to it, right? So now we have 10 enters have been added to it. Perfect. Now you can pop from the list in case I want to remove something. You can simply do, say I want to get an item that I want to pop from. So r dots, which is this connection, then I'll pop. Now pass in my list. Now if I print this item, let's hide all of this that you have done above. Now we have it here, right? So now if I print this item, we are going to get the pop is the last item. So Dubai is going to be not the one that was added, but New Delhi. So let's see. I go back here and I print. So we have New Delhi, right? Because this is on the left pop, right? So left pop. We can also do right pop. So let's do the same, which is going to be my right pop. Then here, same stuff. Now you see that Dubai. So we are pitching from this side, right? So we are there's L pop and then right pop. You can also get the list of all the items. So get list of get length of items. So it's going to be my length, going to be my L.R.L length. Then I'll pass in my list. Right, so this is another way you can also get all of them, and then you can also get the range of items, right? In case you have a range of items, you can do something like this. So I have my items, then I want to get the range, so L range. Now pass in my list, then I'll specify the range, so 0 to -1, and now I can print the length, and then I want to print the items. So these are the two ways. And if I go back here, so we have the list of all the items. So we got the length, right? Then we got this one. So the reason it's keep on happening is we are running it over and over again. That's why I keep on adding and it's increasing, right? Perfect. And then we have the items there, the range from the beginning to the end. Perfect. How do you also work with set? So you can also work with set. You can also work with hashes. So let's just work with set. So let's hide all of this that we have done so that it doesn't keep on populating it over and over. So to work with set, you can just simply do r.s, right? Add, right? I can add, let's say, odd numbers. Right, and now I can just pass in my odd number. So let's say the odd numbers I want to pass is 1, 2, or let's say, so 1, It can be numbers, doesn't matter. So 1, 3, 5, and then in case I want to remove them, I can just do this. Let's say r.s add even, which is 2, 4, 6, right? And then I can check if it's a member, right? So check membership. I can simply do my is member. So I can just go with my r.is set, right? For the s is member. Then I'll pass in my odd number. Then I'll check and see if 3 is a member of it. And then I can now print is member. So if I check it out, true, right? So 3 is a member. If I change it to 4, we will get false, right? Because it's not, right? So 0, right? So this true is coming from here, this pink. So let me hide it so that doesn't confuse us. And if I run it again, 0. So 0 means that it is false, right? It's not a member. You can also list all the members in case you want to get them, right? We can also get all members. So in case I want to get all members, I can simply do my members. So members is going to be r.set members. Then I'll pass in my odd number. So this is going to list all of them. And then I can run it from here. So now we have all the members, right? So that is one way. Now let's move on from here. In case I want to also remove from this, so remove, I can simply do my r.s for set, then remove. Then I can just specify, say odd number. I want to remove the particular number. So let's say I want to move 5 from it. And then if I remove it and I run this one again, so let's bring this one here so that you see the difference. If I run it, so now it is removed, right, from it. Perfect, right? So the other one, there was 5 here, but this doesn't have. Cool. So that is how to work with sets. Now let's move on from here and work with the last one, hashes, and then we'll be done, right? So there is sorted sets. You can sort the sets in case you want to do that. You can also work with pipeline. You can also pop with the sets, right? You can have sorted sets. So that one goes with, let's say, r.z, right? Sorted set. Then I can pass in, let's say this is a leaderboard. Then I'll pass in my set. So this is player. So let's call it P1 is 100. Then P2 is the same, yeah, 200, right? And then in case I want to get the rank for this, I can say r.z rank. Then I'll pass in my leaderboard, and I can just pass in player 1, right? P1. Now this is going to rank it. Then I can actually print it out. So let's print rank. Let's clear out this and then let's run it again. 0, right? So that means that it couldn't find it somehow. And I can also get the score. So score for them, I can just go with my r.z score leaderboard. Then I'll pass in the player, right? So P1. So you're also going to get 100, right? That is a value that we had here, right? Perfect. So that is how to work with set and then sorted set. Let's see how to work with hashes. So hashes, something like dictionaries. So to work with a hash, you just go with each set. So I can just, so we can just set a hash. You can do this like this. So r.h set, then I'll pass in, let's say this is going to be user, right? 1, then the name, that is the key, and then the value. So user 1 is, let's say, okay, Mark, right? Then I can do the same for user 2, which is going to be Mary, Mark and Mary. Perfect. Now in case I want to get all the hash, I can just do the name that I want. Then I will just go with my r.hget, hash get, then I'll pass in user 1, right? And then I can specify the key. So now this is going to print it out. So let's print the name. Let's hide the ones above. And now I can just come down here. If I run it, we see that we have Mark, right? That was the name there. In case I want to get all of them, so let's get all fields, right? You can just simply do, let's do my print r.h get all, then I'll specify, say, user 1. It is going to return all of them, right? In case I change this one and make it, let's say 1, it's going to return all the keys. Then if I print it, they have Mary, right? So we have the name there. Perfect. That is cool. That's how to work with Valkey, right? You can also delete in case you want to delete hash field. You can simply do r.hdel, then you specify the one you want to delete. So let's say I want to delete 2. Then I'll specify what I want to delete. So let's go with name, right? So the reason some of them is overlapped is because let's change this one to, let's say, email, right? And then let's make it like mark@gmail. And now in case I want to run it, so I see the changes that's happened. So this is that we have the mark, the name, the Gmail, blah blah blah. And in case I want to delete, I can simply do 1, and then let's take off the email. Then let's run it again to ensure that it's actually deleted. And now it's gone, right? So the previous one we had the email, but now we don't have it anymore. Perfect. That is how to work with hashes. And let's see one more stuff you can also do, which is we can also work with pipelines, right? Let's go here, and then so pipelines. How do you work with pipelines? Pipelines are useful when you want to create a pipe to run a lot of stuff there. So r.pipeline, then I'll pass it. So the API looks similar to Redis, right? Very simple. So pipe.set, then I can say, okay, this is going to be the country, and then let's say the country name. Got it, right? Something like that. Then pipe.increment my visit, if there is something like that, and then you can now print the result. So result going to be pipe.execute. You can also do things like this. So you can also create a pipeline and use a pipeline to do a lot of things. Then if I print result, okay, it's going to give us 0 or 1, right? So true. Perfect. Okay, so that is something we can also do. Now let's see pop sub. So pop sub is very important. It allows you to be able to create a channel. right? And then there's a subscriber. So the publisher does the create and then send, right? And the subscriber receive. That's a basic understanding. So let's create a publisher. So publish, then I can call it my channel. Let's give it a channel name. Let's give it some simple message. So let's go channel 1, right? Channel 1, and then a message I want. Now in case I want the subscriber to receive it, I can simply do my pop sub. Then we have the arrow dot pop sub to subscribe to it. Then pop sub dot subscribe. So which channel? We want to get channel 1. And now if I go with for message in pop.listen, so it's listening to it, I can do print MSG, and I'm going to see it's happening here. So let's run it again. I spelled this one wrong. It says subscribe. And now you see that it's listening, right? See, they see that type, subscribe, pattern, channel, and it got timed out. Perfect. So that is some cool stuff you can also do with Redis. Very cool, right? You can also do all of these things I was doing here, right? If I go back and I do keys asterisk, you see all the keys that I've used. So we have all of them there, right? Even in all of these keys there. I can also flash all. Yes, I want to take off all the values, and now it's done. If I go back with keys again, nothing is there. This is how to clear off your in-memory database. So that is how to work with Redis, right? You can also do publish, as we did here, publish, and then I'll just say channel 2, and then hello, right? And if I also have opened another tab, so let's try another tab here. So let me do it this way. In case I have Terminator, I think I have Terminator. Yeah, I don't have Terminator, but yeah, I have new vein, but let's not go there. Yes, so this is better. Now I can go with the Valkey CLI, and then I can subscribe to the channel, which is subscribe channel 2, right? And you can see that if I do, yeah, channel 2, right? Subscribe, and then this is reading the messages, right? So I do hello again. Yeah, I think I forgot how it works. Hello, thread. So there we have it here, right? So because I said publish channel 2, hello thread, we got it here. I can do again, hello. It works, and automatically once I click on here, you see that automatically going to come. It works, right? So that is how to work with Valkey. So you have seen how to use Valkey, which has a similar API as Redis. So in case you are using Redis and you want to use Valkey, you can simply switch just the host, and then everything works, right? The API is similar and the same. So thank you for watching the tutorial. So see you in the next session. Stay blessed. Bye.